Hello future CAs, welcome back to my channel, your one-stop guide for everything related to CA exams. So if you are new here, I am Pooja, a chartered accountant. I have an experience of working for Ernst& Young and KPMG, and I help CA aspirants like you succeed with practical tips, strategies and support. So the ICA has finally revealed some very important insights on how to clear the CA final IBS exam. So in this video, I am going to simplify the entire webinar for you. From tips to solving MCQs, how to make sketches for case studies, why an index is crucial, and how to approach this paper strategically. We'll be covering all of this and much more. So stay tuned till the end because these points can make a real difference in your exam preparation. Also guys, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe. Every subscription works like a motivation for me and it also makes my day. So guys, when you visit my channel in the playlist section, you can see there is a separate playlist for CA final exam. And there is also playlist for CA final auditing, CA final AFM, and also there is a playlist for this case scenario booklet where I'll be adding more videos by solving the case scenario questions. There is also a playlist as CAGPT for students. In this I have made some videos demonstrating different techniques in which you can use CAGPT while preparing for your CA exams. So please visit my channel and you can watch all of these videos. So let's start the video. So first we'll see the syllabus of this paper. So basically this comprises paper 1 financial reporting, paper 2 AFM, paper 3 advanced auditing, assurance and professional ethics, then paper 4 direct tax laws and international taxation, paper 5 indirect tax law, and we have self-paced online module set A, corporate and economic law, and set B, strategic cost and performance management. So these all subjects are covered in the IPS. So now we'll see some important points that were discussed in the webinar which will help you crack the exam easily. So first some tips were given to solve the MCQ. So for MCQ, usually how it will be is there will be a case scenario and then below that there will be MCQ. So the suggestion was given that first read the requirement part and then suppose after reading the MCQ, you get to know that it's relating to FR. Then what you have to do is then read the case study and identify the para which relates to FR and then think of the relevant provisions and answer. However, one key point is read the entire case study before answering because sometimes it might happen that some data relating to FR may be in the other para also. And then to solve the MCQ, it was suggested that you can use the elimination techniques because many times some MCQs clearly have two incorrect options. So you can directly strike them out. And there may also be three incorrect options. So you can strike all the options which are incorrect. So suppose say two options are incorrect and you strike that out and then the remaining options which will be remaining, you have to compare that with respect to the relevant accounting standard or section or the relevant concept. And then you can arrive at the right answer. And suppose if the question says to find the correct option, then first you have to identify which all are the incorrect option and you have to strike it out. And then the remaining answer will be the correct option. And also to solve the MCQ, it is very important to have multidisciplinary knowledge and conceptual understanding also. And you must be able to connect the dots between different topics. So totally you will have 20 MCQ in this paper and it was mentioned that you have to take 4.5 minutes per MCQ. So totally you shouldn't spend more than 90 minutes for the MCQs. And if there is any MCQ which is tough and you do not know the answer, you mark that MCQ part and you can come back to it later on and you can solve it later. And the next point discussed in the webinar was how sketchmaking can help you to solve the case study. So this is something new and different. So when you are solving a case study, first read the requirement carefully and then also go through the entire case study. And as you are reading the case study, start making a sketch. So this could be in the form of a simple flow chart or a chart showing the important points like the business structure, key entities, relationship, relevant standards and sections. So this sketch will help you break down the case into small decisions, and it will also help to link the issues and connect them to different theoretical models. So for example, if the requirement is to assess the competitive environment, so you know that this relates to Porter's five forces model. So in your sketch, note down the all five forces, and while reading the case, jot down relevant points under each heading. So this way your sketch will become a draft answer, and later on you can refine it into a final solution. So sketching keeps your thoughts organized, and it also ensures you don't miss any key points, and it helps in connecting theory to the practical case also. So the next point discussed was why an index is crucial in the open book exam. So in an open book exam, an index is a lifesaver because it saves your time. Instead of wasting time flipping through hundreds of pages, a well prepared index takes you straight to the right section, rule, or standard so that you can focus on analysis rather than searching. But we have to remember that this exam doesn't test how fast we can find the information. Rather, it tests how well we can apply it. So that must be our real strength, that is the conceptual understanding. The index will support us, but unless we are conceptually clear, we will not be able to know instantly which section or model we have to use or apply in the case. So in short, index will save your time, but your understanding is what gives you confidence and makes your answer strong. So one exam tip is before the exam, prepare your own index and also practice with your own index at least once. Don't do like just prepare the index and go to the exam and see it first time in the exam hall. Test how you can quickly jump into the sections while solving the mock question. So this way the index will become your support and not your distraction. So try to practice with the index in the home itself once before you go for the real exam. The next point answered was how to approach this paper. So first you have to learn to interlink the concepts. So we have to understand as to in the question what concept has come and how we have to search that in the study material with the help of index, and how we have to analyze the concept, and we have to solve different types of case studies. And then while solving the case study, while giving the answer, solution or recommendation, you have to think like a CEO, CFO or the finance head. You shouldn't think like you're just writing the answer. You should think like you're solving the problem from the point of angle of CEO or the finance head. The next question addressed was, what if the case study is from an industry which I am not familiar with? So for this, it was suggested that first what you do is read the requirement of the question and then read the case study. Focus on the question, like what the question is asking. Whether the requirement part is relating to tax, Ind AS, strategy, company law, etc. Whichever industry it might be, don't get stuck on the technical background relating to that sector. Treat that industry just as a background. Connect your syllabus to the concepts and apply the relevant provisions, model or standards from your module. And then you can solve the question easily. So write the logic and structure. Even if you don't know the industry well, a clear concept based answer will fetch marks. So the key here is industry changes, but the concepts will remain the same. So you have to see what is the requirement of your question and apply it to the concept and just solve the question. So the next point discussed in this webinar was from what all resources you should be studying. So to show this, I will take you to the BOS knowledge portal. Just a second. So here I have opened the BOS knowledge portal. Here you can see case study paper 6 IBS. So just click here case studies. So here you can see we have case study digest volume 2, case study digest, then case studies published in the student journal, then some assignment notes, etc. So ensure you go through all of these. So in these case studies, you have case study from different industries. So the next point addressed in this webinar was the three different levels of assessment for descriptive question. So let's have a look at that. So these are the three levels based on which the assessment will be done for the descriptive type. So level 1 will be comprehension and knowledge based questions. So these questions will start with the words like define, describe, distinguish, explain, identify, illustrate, list, state, outline, understand or recognize. So in level 1 you will have to explain as it is. There is no much analysis required here. Now let's see level 2. So level 2 type of question is analysis and application based question. So in this the questions will start with the words like analyze, discuss, compare and contrast, develop, examine, monitor, prioritize, produce, align, communicate. Or they might also ask you for some computation. So in that case the questions will begin with words like apply, calculate, demonstrate, determine, perform, prepare, reconcile, record, use, and conduct. So level 2 is based on financial factors only. So for example, if there is a question and you are analyzing if pull model or push model which is profitable. So that type of question will come under level 2 question. Next we have level 3 question. So this is based on evaluation and synthesis. So in level 3, the questions will start with the words like advise, evaluate, recommend. So in level 3, judgmental thinking also is required. So in this level, non-financial factors also have to be considered. So an example of a non-financial factor to be considered while making a decision about choosing a supplier. So suppose you are making a decision about choosing a supplier for your company. A non-financial factor to be considered will be supplier reliability and reputation. So even if the supplier offers lowest price, it's critical to assess their track record for timely delivery, consistency in product quality and responsiveness to issues. For instance, there is a supplier who delivers late frequently or provides defective goods can disrupt production and damage customer relationships, which is far more costly in the long run than paying a slightly higher price to a reliable supplier. So in level 3, along with financial factors, you will have to consider non-financial factors also to give the decision. Also, if the question has word as evaluate, that means first you will have to give the pros and cons, that is the advantages and disadvantages both have to be stated, and then you have to give the decision or conclusion. And mostly in the exam, questions will be asked from level 2 or level 3 itself. And the next point discussed was how to ensure your answer reflects strategic thinking. Always ensure you write the answers based on the stakeholders' perspective, as you have to think for the long-term growth of the company. And also ensure the different legal compliances. For example, if the company is a foreign company, then FEMA rules might be applicable. And if the company is a listed company, SEBI LODR rules will be applicable. And again, if FEMA rules are applicable, there might be possibility that AFM Forex also might come into play there. So to ensure that different legal aspects are met. The next question addressed was how to prepare for the September 2025 exam. So here a suggestion was given that study fundamental concepts of FR, audit and tax, since this forms the technical foundation of the subject, and also focus on the key strategic and regulatory areas. And there are some important strategic models from the set B which I will discuss later on. So those models are also very important. And also go through the legal provisions on company structuring and board responsibility. This is based on the Companies Act. Then also study the SEBI LODR regulations. And in AFM, Forex is very important. And in company law, again, FEMA is very important. And from all the modules that you will be studying, go through the test your knowledge and illustration also. And also one more thing suggested was for all the important concepts, you can prepare a mind map or a summary format and you can take it to the exam because this will help you to easily fetch the answers. So the next point discussed in the webinar was weightage, that is based on the past exam trend. Like there is no specific weightage, subject wise weightage, but based on the past exam trend, the weightage has been given as follows. So taxation part, that is DT and IDT, will be for 30 to 40 marks. Then the subjects of group 1 will be for 40 marks. Then your self-paced online module set A and set B, this together will be for 40 marks. So the next point discussed in the webinar was how to solve the case study step by step. So each case study that will be given in the exam might be supported by various form of industry insights and documentation. So there might be information about board of directors, extracts from management discussions, analysis, board report, independent audit report, media coverage, etc. And also you might be asked to craft written responses in various business formats, including email, memo, reports, notes, etc. So you have to be very careful as to what the question is asking. If the question is asking you to draft an email, memo, or notes, or any report, you have to answer accordingly. So first, to solve the case study, first read the requirement part. See what the question is asking. Read the case study step by step and start making the sketch simultaneously as we discussed previously, and also start drafting answer based on the sketch and requirement of the question. And also whatever recommendation you are giving, it should be clear and professionally drafted. So you have to consider long term impact and also stakeholders interest while giving the solution or recommendation. And if the question relates to strategic decision, it is very, very important to give a conclusion. And it was also mentioned that if you highlight keywords, key sections, key concepts, key areas, or key regulation, this might also fetch you more marks. So be very careful about this. So the next point discussed in the webinar was how you should revise 1.5 day before the exam. So what you should do is revise the key concept from your strong areas. So whichever areas you are strong, whether it's taxation or auditing or FR, first revise the concept from that area. Then give importance to different strategic models and also go through the SEBI LODR from the SETE, that is company law, and go through the taxation concept. And also what you have to do is observe a few case study and see as to how the answers are structured. And in FR, Ind AS are very important, and in AFM, Forex is very important. And then in the last half day, that is the morning of your exam, go through the summary notes and the mind map that you have prepared. And also a suggestion was given that you must see the RTP also, because in the RTP some tricky case studies were given. So better you go through that also. And one more suggestion was do not overload yourself with any new content because it might lead to more confusion. So in the last 1.5 day, do not go through any new topic. And one more query answered was if any of you have passed group 1 long back. So now how to prepare for this subject. So here it was mentioned that anyhow DT and IDT you will be studying. So you will be covering the taxation part which is for 40 marks. Then in group 1, any two subjects you have to study. Like for example, you can take FR and AFM like this, any two subjects you study. Then for the others, at least have basic conceptual understanding. So the next point highlighted was the important strategic models or concept. So around 40 to 44 strategic models or concepts were mentioned in the webinar. So what I have done is I have written down the names of these in the pinned comments below. So you can go to the pinned comments and take the strategic model names from there, and you can prepare the mind map or summary notes for that, and you can take it for your exam. So this way it will be helpful for you. And the next point mentioned was some students had doubt as to what should be the length of the answer. So for this it was mentioned that what you can do is, suppose the question is regarding assess competitive environment. So, and this is for 10 mark for example. So we know that this is the Porter's five forces model. So what we have to do is, we have to write down all the five forces and under each of the force write 2 points. And then also you have to give the conclusion. So in this way you will have to answer a 10 marker. So same way for the other question also. You have to ensure you answer based on the marks allotted to the question. So guys, these were the key takeaways from the ICI webinar on the CA Final IBS exam. So if you apply these tips, whether it's sketchmaking, using strategic models or revising effectively before exam, you will definitely approach the paper with more clarity and confidence. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel and also share it with your friends preparing for the CA final. All the best for your exams.